Let's get creative with the 115 ScrawlrBox.
Hey Scrawlers, I'm Kat from ScrawlrBox and welcome back to another video. Today's video I've got the 115 ScrawlrBox and we're going to get a little bit more creative with these supplies using the tips and tricks as seen in the zine. Let's get into it.
Okie dokie, got my box, and I'll be using the cartridge paper from Sea White of Brighton that was included in this month's box. It's a lovely and thick paper with a nice texture for colouring pencils, and I'm going to start with the Procolour to do my outline. I did skip this process and filming just because it takes quite a long time, but if you do want to see that process in full, let me know, maybe we can do a video on it. So I'm going to start with the background, and I'm going to use the blue and the black pencils. In my head I want it to be really dark, so I'm going to start by filling the tooth of the paper with the pigment from the pencils. So I'm going to grab my sharpener and I'm going to gently just sharpen the edges. Try not to get too much of the wood in there, just so I can get the pigment from the lead. Using my finger, I'm now going to rub that into the background area. I don't need to be too neat, as the desired effect is to be a little bit grungy, so I'm going with the messy effect here. You don't have to use your fingers, you could use a cotton bud instead. I just prefer to use my hands. It comes right off with some hand soap. I'm now going to erase the unwanted lines and neaten up the edges a little bit on that background as I've encroached on my line work there. Easily comes off as there's not too much pigment laid down. The Procolour erases much better than the Lightfast pencils. I'm going to start by adding some shading, so I'm going to go in lightly with the black and I'm going to use the side of the pencil just to get a more of a rougher edge. Colouring with pencils do require a little bit of patience, as it is all about building up those layers. I'm really battling through that ugly stage. Using the black, I'm now going to start to add in a bit more of that line work. Now going with my line work with the black pencil, and I'm keeping it sharpened throughout the entire process, which you didn't see filmed because it went too quickly. But yes, sharpen your pencil to keep that point sharp. Building in more layers for that background because I really want it to be dark and intense. Moody. To create a little bit more of a grungy texture, I've actually gone over the top in lots of hatches as well, and I'll continue to build that up as I go. Adding in a little bit of the red now. And to see what I mean by the ugly stage, it's not really looking like much here, so you really do have to trust the process. Gradually building up layer on layer of light coloured pencil to build up more intensity. ScrawlrBox tissue comes in handy here, as you can use it as a hand rest to stop the rest of the pencil smudging. I really enjoy mark making, so I've gone in for more dashes and little weird squiggles and stuff. That's just the way I like to build up layers and texture. Taking a little look before I decide to add more on. I didn't really have a plan, as per usual, and I am just sort of going with this. Colour pencils aren't usually my go-to, but I did find this quite fun. The more layers I built, the more it seemed to come to life, and it was quite an enjoyable, relaxing process. It needs something else. Yellow. One of the things I find really fun about using supplies I don't really usually reach for is that I'm not too concerned with the outcome, because I really am just playing, so my brain is a little bit more free, less rigid, and I can just go with whatever feels right in my hand at the time. If realism is what you're after, I do thoroughly recommend having a reference photo and to make sure you put in all the shadows where the shadows actually are. Jake Spicer, the featured artist for this box, actually has some great tips on this. I'll link it down below. 115 ScrawlrBox done.
And there we have it, tips and tricks with the 115 ScrawlrBox done. These supplies are super fun to use, even though they do require a little bit more patience than usual. I hope you found this video useful, and until next time, keep scrolling!
Thank you so much for watching. Really do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more things like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, bye!